Okay. All right. So we're gonna do the intro now. Ready?
What am I doing on the intro?
I'm just gonna welcome us in. I don't know. Look
Okay.
at the
And we all have to
middle
dance,
camera or
Mama G.
something.
We all do
Yeah,
it.
I go like
We
this.
do a dance. If you do that,
Yes, please.
Don't.
definitely do that.
Is this the right one? I don't want it to.
Oh no. All right. Let's do quiet clapping. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Comfort Level Podcast, where today we are the ultimate comfort level. We're comfort level 10 today.
We're in
our PJs. I got the PJ shirt on.
Just got out of
Mama
bed.
G's got the PJ shirt on. Sam's got the whole fit.
Christmas
He's got a robe on.
songs.
Oh, yeah. We got everything. So I'm here with my mom, Mama G,
Mama G.
Mama G.
Mama G.
Brandon, and Sam. What did she do? What did she do?
Okay, forget it. Okay, stop.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Well, we're here to hopefully get through some Reddit stories and read them to you and give our opinion today. We are joined by our very special guest, Mama G, and this is Brandon and Sam,
Still here.
still here.
And Huska.
Oscar.
Why do you look like that?
Let's start with the first story. I'm going to read off the titles, and you guys tell me which one you might be interested in hearing.
Okay.
So we have, am I the asshole for not scheduling the new hire's vacation? Am I the asshole for throwing my sister and her son out of my house?
That one for sure.
Am I the asshole for serving my husband's family mac and cheese for dinner? Am I the asshole for telling my husband I won't be cooking for him anymore because of the comment he made? And I think, am I the asshole for telling my husband that if he wants my mother-in-law in the delivery room, then he can't be in there either?
Oh.
Any of those sound interesting to you?
Oh my God, there's like at least like 3 out of
I like the throwing out.
Okay.
throwing out the
The mac and cheese is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
I
curious
just-
what that is.
I just have to know what that was about.
What are you thinking?
Mac and cheese sounds interesting.
The mac and cheese one?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, shit.
So we'll start with that one. Am I the asshole for serving my husband's family mac and cheese for dinner? My husband, Asian, and I, American, welcomed our firstborn baby 4 weeks ago, but I'm exhausted. Haven't fixed my hair, barely able to shower, and can't sleep. My husband's family has been pressuring us to visit to meet the baby. I tried to hold them off as much as I could, but yesterday I was surprised to find them standing on the porch. Turns out hubby invited them for dinner. I was embarrassed and felt like I wasn't ready for visitors, judgmental ones at that, because the house was a mess. Anyways, my husband sat with them while I fed my son. Then later I asked my husband if we should order takeout for dinner. He said no, because my parents, aka his parents, would find it rude and unwelcoming. He suggested that I go in the kitchen and prepare something. Anything as long as it's homemade. I said fine, and then went and made some mac and cheese. The reason I prepared this meal is because of how easy it is. Once I served the family, my husband's mom looked at me and was appalled. I noticed something was wrong, and she asked if I found it appropriate to serve her and the family mac and cheese. I asked why not, and she went on a rant of how disrespectful this was and how I clearly had no experience in what is right and wrong when it comes to hosting. I said, "Excuse me? Who said I signed up to host and expected visit from them?" She took it as in I didn't want them there. Her husband said that they were just there to finally see the baby and that I kept from them for an entire month. That's a whole month of his life that they missed out on. He took offense and said that I was being mean and disrespectful towards not only his family, but his culture. I went inside the bedroom to stay with my son. My husband stayed on the phone with his family for an hour and then kept giving me the cold shoulder and refused to eat what I cook in support of his family. I understand how guests might find it offensive, especially in his family, but I was just trying to make a quick homemade meal like my husband wanted. What's wrong with mac and cheese?
It's creamy delicious.
That's very true.
There's nothing wrong with it,
There's nothing wrong with it.
especially if it's crispy on the top.
Okay.
So,
There's like a lot of things in that story that I'm like,
I know.
That was very layered, I feel like.
I mean, is this supposed to be a cultured meal?
I guess so. I mean, I screenshotted. There's like a few edits, but it has to do with the comments. And then there's like a response that got like 37 awards. Do you guys want me to read that?
Yeah.
Okay. This isn't a culture clash. These people are just a-holes. There isn't an Asian culture I'm aware of that doesn't practice some form of postpartum confinement where it is expected that the new mother do nothing other than rest and bond with the baby. If they were so traditional, they should have showed up with the food, offered to clean the house, and run a load of laundry while they're at it. Not the asshole, by the way. And this person said, they added an edit. They said, thanks for the award. I'm Asian too, and even though I live far from my home now, I totally enjoyed being able to just rest up and bond with my babies in the early days postpartum.
Wow. That's wow.
I think the real question is, what was it really homemade mac and cheese, or was this Kraft mac and? How do you can you just whip up mac and cheese? I don't know. Personally, I feel like I have to prepare to make homemade mac and cheese. Can you
And
just
the
whip it up?
ingredients, having all the ingredients.
Yeah, like having all the
especially
cheese
it's
and
5
being ready.
cheese.
Yeah.
You know? So,
I think they're mad because she gave them Kraft box mac and cheese. And I'm like, what is this?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily consider Kraft homemade, though.
I know, that's what I'm like. I think she's lying about that. I think that's the real story. That's
see.
Kraft mac and cheese.
Or Velveeta.
They're mad about that. And she's like, oh, no, they're mad about all this. No, they said, the mom was like, this is Kraft, and she threw it in her face.
well, you think the husband would know that because he said, I want you to cook me something that's homemade.
What do you think the husband should have done in this situation?
Cooked.
100%. I would have been heated. She just had a baby, and you were like, oh, yeah, go cook my parents' dinner. A homemade dinner? That's crazy. We're ordering
Right.
DoorDash. We're getting Chinese food in. I'm not making anything.
I mean, whenever I had my little babies, I got to have food brought in, so I didn't have to go and prepare a meal for people or
So-
my husband.
Yeah. So
What
it
was your
sounds-
go-to food after having babies? What did you always want to eat?
Well, I think our go-to food was always, I hate to say it, it's pizza, but
I don't hate to hear that. You know, I love pizza.
it was like, when you're nursing, it's like, should I eat this? Because it could probably give them heartburn.
Oh no.
Get some strong.
That's why my kids love pizza so much.
But we have heartburn.
That too.
Yeah, Maddie is constantly going on like, oh, my heart is burning all the time. I do notice she says that all the time. It's
Well,
like-
no, I'm pretty sure last week or the week before that I had said something about, Brandon hears about it all the time, but I had said something about how, like, when I went and had, like, the pasta, or maybe that was just a conversation between me and Brandon, I told him I got Alfredo, and, yeah, that, like, afterwards I was like, it's delicious, but then I just had this burning heartburn for the rest of the night. Even if you take Tums, depending on, like, how, like, much, acidity is in the ingredients, it's like...
Wait, are you blaming Alfredo? Because I don't ever want to hear that. Alfredo never did anything
I'm blaming
wrong.
pasta.
Okay, blame the pasta. Just don't. You said Alfredo. I don't want people to think that Alfredo had anything to do with it. Alfredo's delicious, and I would never.
I don't
Okay,
see
but you
Alfredo,
don't.
man.
It doesn't sound like you have issues with heartburn.
When I don't see how pasta could just give you
I don't
heartburn.
think either. I think.
Oh
you're doing
my
something. I don't know.
goodness.
What else are you eating?
Right.
That's all I ate was chicken fettuccine Alfredo. You know how
He
oily
doesn't
the
believe.
you know
I
how
think you're
oily the
burying
pasta is.
something.
Oh yeah.
She's
Well, the
hiding
pasta's
something.
not oil; it's the Alfredo.
Maddie,
That's what I'm
are
saying.
you hiding?
Yeah.
What would
It's
she be
Alfredo.
lying about?
It's the
I don't know,
Alfredo.
Maddie.
It's
Why
Fredo.
are you hiding? You're lying right now, and
You're ridiculous.
okay.
Fredo did it.
You don't even believe me?
No, was it homemade Alfredo? Or
Oh
was
my
it?
god.
I'm afraid
It was from
not.
a restaurant. So
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah. It probably was. It's probably
I
olive
caught
oil.
that
in
joke.
it.
I caught it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
Maddie will see
The
that.
olive oil
Yeah,
and
she'll see
Fredo.
it. She'll hear it too. Huh?
I'll see it in 7 months and I'll text you guys. And I'll be like, how dare you say that to me,
It was
Sam?
good.
It was a good one. It was alright. It was alright.
It was amazing.
Wasn't good as running, but you know.
I do love Alfredo. I'm serious. Like, it's very delicious, and I'm just like, I think I'm emotionally attached to Alfredo.
And I deeply understand that sentiment. But back to the the story. Yeah, I don't know. I think that situation was just tough in general because it sounds like he has a very traditional outlook on his marriage. And it sounds like he's potentially from like a, I mean, the lady even said it herself, the commenter, from like a toxic, but also like very traditional where like the wife does all these things. Because that's crazy that he's like, yeah, they just showed up, go cook them a meal. And then to not even support your wife after she makes the
Right.
food. And he's like, I'm not eating this. It's like, you just potentially saw me make it. And now you're gonna, like, it's like a weird thing of like, I can't think of what it's called, but when you have like a weird relationship like with your mom, like when like a son has like kind of like a toxic relationship with their mom where they would like pick their mom over their wife in situations where it's like they're not fighting, he just always is choosing her side. What is that called? It's like some type of bonding where it's like they're not dating, but the mom's like, yeah, that's my husband, but it's her son. Have you ever heard of those people?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So like the
I don't
son is
think
the
there's
same way.
Yeah, I don't think there's a term for it. But
There's a term.
Wasn't
There's
there
a term
a
for
mama's boy? No, whatever. Is that what you're like?
No,
It's
there's like
like-
an actual term for it.
yeah, it's like the
I've-
bond's so strong it seems like a relationship, like
Yeah.
husband, but it's like
Like they treat them like
yeah.
they're in a relationship. Anyway, I can't think of what it's called.
What's that show we used to watch that was like?
Smothered?
Brandon remembers. Wow, Brandon guessed that really quickly.
Very super quick.
Shocked by that
But there
show.
was the mother son one too. But I don't know. Was that a smothered one too?
I don't ever remember a son on the show. It was just daughters.
But there's a mother son too, and the daughter.
I need to see that one.
The girl always
Holy
competed with the mom. The mom would go, "Oh, you got to do this. You got to do that,"
Oh
and
my
then he'd
God.
go, "Okay, mom," and she'd be like,
Am I the asshole for throwing my sister and her son out of my house? I, 35 male, am a single father of 3 boys, 10 male, 7 male, 3 male. Their mother died last year due to ovarian cancer.
Oh.
It has been a rough year to say the least. My sister got divorced 6 months ago and temporarily moved in with me and the boys. She has a son, 9 years old, who stays with us most of the time. My nephew and my 10-year-old are not the best of friends, but so far they got along fine apart from teasing from both sides. A few weeks ago, my 10-year-old started telling me that his cousin was bullying him and being mean to him. He called him names, pushed him around, took his video games. I talked to my sister many times and told her to talk to her son. We talked to the boys together and things settled down. Yesterday was my 3-year-old's birthday, so my whole family was here, and my late wife's family as well. It was extremely emotional for everyone because it was the first birthday since my wife's been gone. The boys, 10 and 9, started fighting again, and I asked them to both calm down and behave. My son started crying and told me his cousin teased him about him not having a mom.
Oh my god.
I know.
Too soon.
Okay, that's not funny, but
Why'd you laugh?
because I was thinking, like, you don't have a dad. And he's like, I don't have a mom. Okay. I choked up and asked my nephew if that was true, and he said yes, but that he's sorry. I figured I'd have a proper talk with him and my sister after the party, so I told him that what he said was really awful and he cannot say it again. I comforted my son and we went back to the party. Before we cut the cake, my sister came yelling at me, saying I had no business disciplining her child. I told her to drop it and we'll talk later. Instead, she said, besides, he's right. Kids need a mom. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God.
Tears in my eyes by that time. And she said, see, it's even turning you into a pussy. My in-laws were crying. I was tearing up. The kids were upset. Just awful. I told her to stop it and just leave me and the kids and the family to cut the cake, and we'll talk in the evening. She said, listen, we both lost our spouses, but at least I'm still a normal person. Oh, my gosh. She stormed off. After the party, I told her she has 2 days to pack her shit and leave. She's begging me not to throw her out because she and her kid will be homeless. Am I the asshole for throwing her out?
No.
Hit the road,
Oh
Jack.
my gosh.
And don't come back no more.
How long were they there? A month?
Looks
The
like
sister?
6 months.
Okay.
And when did the mom die?
The mom died last year, and then his sister got divorced 6 months ago and moved in with them.
That's crazy. I feel like that lady's living in her own bubble for her to dare say those like super hurtful things to her brother.
To her brother, that's what's crazy. I'm like, it's not even just
To her brother first, but also to someone that's providing you shelter?
Yeah.
Make it make sense. Because it don't. The math is not adding up.
It sounds like she's unhappy with her own life and she's taking it out on the people that she's closest to, but that does not make it okay.
That's a tough lesson. She gonna have to learn.
And the fact she said we both lost our spouses, I'm like, well, you
yeah.
got divorced and she died. So I'm like, those are two different things. The dad's still out there.
The fact that she's even relating that, because it's not
Yeah.
only him that's going through that, it's also all the boys.
Right.
That was their mom, and for her little brat of a son to say that to his cousin, you know, kids don't know what they're saying, but
Oh, he's getting that from his mom.
right, that's what I was
For sure.
yeah. He thinks it's okay to talk like that because his mom talks like that. Wait till he, you know, he's lucky that he doesn't have to live that life, where his dad is still alive, even if he's not in his life.
Right.
Maybe she should just try and be a little more supportive of him as a woman, you know, knowing that being the sister to be there to help him. But yeah, and then like you said, she's probably harboring some angry feelings. You know, if maybe he divorced her and said, "You get out."
What do you think about her calling him? He's literally crying. He's broken down. He's the most vulnerable, and then she chooses to call him a pussy.
That's wrong. That's what I said. She needs to.
I cussed in front of you.
Well, let's keep the cat out of it.
Yeah.
Wait,
What does that mean?
wait, hold on.
Husker did not
Wait,
like
no,
that.
I just
Husker
caught
was
it.
like, no.
You heard of pussycat? Come here, pussycat. Okay, sorry, your dog. Sorry.
Okay,
Don't
okay,
talk about
sorry,
cats.
sorry.
Don't
Yeah,
ever
so,
talk
so.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong. She shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
That's her brother. You know, her nephew's mom. She should be there to support the boy, be there as a good role model for him, and, you know, support the brother. But what she said was wrong, and maybe that's why she got divorced. You know, if he kicked her out,
sounds
she's
awful.
probably going, all right, I can see it. So now you can leave here. So
I think the worst part is, I mean, we're only basing this off of like one scenario that he told us, but like, I feel like the worst part is if he does like kick her out. Wait, he did, right?
Yeah.
He did kick her out. Okay. So like, I think the worst thing would be her just not learning her lesson.
Yeah.
Like, you get kicked out and all this, like the world revolves around her. Like, she just plays the victim card.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's bad because not only are you playing the victim card? And this dude like literally put your whole story out. Like everybody knows about you now.
Mm-hmm.
But two, just based on the interaction that the nephew had with the son, it's like that's already being passed down. Like,
Yeah.
you are a powerhouse for making a toxic person at that point.
And I wonder if she's like those people where she's like, I'm not an asshole, I'm just real. And it's like, that doesn't not make you a mean person.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you think you're doing it for whatever reason. I mean, I don't know. I feel like, I was going to say maybe she doesn't think that, maybe she thinks she's just being real, but she's trying to hurt her brother. I think she's just hurt. Because she was trying to hurt her brother in the moment when he was really weak. He told her to stop talking. And she tried to minimize his pain by saying, we both lost spouses.
Right.
And then she calls him a cat.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, it's just like...
Well, but was it her son that said something to his cousin about you not having a mom? I mean,
Yeah.
so it sounds like she's kind of that way all the time.
Yeah.
If he's going to be, you know, falling
That's
from the
true.
tree to be able to
Also,
say
you
that.
think they're outside, like, they're in the room, and she's like, man, it's crazy how they don't have a mom. He's like, yeah, it is crazy. And then he goes says it to the kid.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know if he says that, but it's like, how is he old enough to understand?
Right, right.
You know, that kind of stuff. And you think he's got his mom there, you know, he would understand how it would be, you know, like, okay, you don't have your mom, but I have mine, and not to make fun of him. And so what is she saying to instill that, for him to have that kind of a conversation with his cousin?
Well, it's interesting in the updates. It looks like their mom decided to take the sister in, and the kid is going to go to his dad's because his dad says there's no way he's going to let his sister ruin their kid. So
Oh.
looks like the ex took the kid back.
Wow. So you're right.
Mm-hmm.
He
So
was
it's
like, I don't like my son
learning,
that way.
yeah, I don't want him to grow up to be, you know, inconsiderate of other people's feelings and selfish. And
I'm surprised that the mom would just let him go that easily, though. I don't know.
think she has a choice. She doesn't really have a place to stay. I mean,
Oh.
the mom's taking the sister in, but maybe the mom's like, I don't want the kid.
She's like,
You
your
can
kid's
come, but I
mean
don't
to
want
me.
my grandkid in this house.
or maybe, you know, sometimes people like, oh, you remind me of your dad, you know, maybe it's better you go live with him. Or maybe she was kind of mean to her child,
I mean, yeah, maybe.
so
Maybe that's where he learned to be mean. Yeah.
I think it's wild. I think I was laughing because it's a funny joke when someone's, if a kid came to me like, that's why you don't have a mom. Because it reminded me of a joke where there was some comedian talking about, they were talking to a kid back and forth, and one was in a wheelchair. He's like, that's why your legs don't work. And that made me laugh too. It just reminded me of the same kind of joke. Like, kids will say the most, I don't even think they're saying it to be hurtful. They just say
they're
like,
innocent.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, they just say this truly off the wall thing, and it's very funny to me. And I wish I could say things like that.
Well,
I think that's what
I
I'm
have some
coming
things
at.
I could share too, but I don't want to.
About me?
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah, if it's about Maddie, let's
No,
get
it's
this,
not.
air this
But
out
it's
on
just
the
like, you know, when you're walking around a grocery store and your kid says, that person's bad.
yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, you know. It's like, no, he's not. He's just a big person, you know, wearing overalls and, you know.
Yeah, kids
Your
scare
body's
me.
bigger than everyone's body.
Yeah, it's like, thanks.
You're abnormal.
Yeah.
Have any of us kids ever said anything point blank to somebody before? While you're around?
I don't think point blank, but like just when somebody's like that incident, I was at a grocery store and there was a large man that was in overalls and somebody's in the front of the basket and, Mom, that person's fat.
It was Maddie,
It's like-
wasn't it?
Who was it?
No.
Was it a
It
boy or
Maddie.
it was a
It
boy?
was Jake.
Dang, you put the name out. Jake, you just got exposed.
Sorry, Jake.
Jake got exposed.
You're out on the internet. Your story's
Man,
out
you
there.
just make sure you take that out.
You know, we're keeping it. He doesn't watch
Jake
it
fat
anyway.
She's not gonna
people
find
out
it.
here. That's crazy.
But they didn't, you know.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't know. You know, they're just innocent and they don't know what they're saying or what it means to people. So
So we put Jake out there. Let's put Maddie out. What's the worst thing that Maddie's done?
No.
Me and my sister are fighting when we were kids, and like I push her and she like falls down. I'm like, and she's like hurt, and you're like, oh no, you okay? No, you're good, and
then Joe.
yeah, because I'm like, just because she's my sister, she's a girl. I'm like, oh, it's different. If she did it to me, it wouldn't be the same. But if I'm like she's hurt, she's like, oh, and I'm like, no, you're fine, you're good. This is cool. Everybody's good. Everyone's happy. And she just starts crying. You're like, oh no, it's over.
You're like, can I make you what you just
What do you
know their
mean?
favorite thing?
Yeah.
Can I get you this?
Don't tell Mom.
Can I go to the convenience store and get you something?
Our
Just
thing
stay
was the
here.
remote, like whoever controlled the TV while we were watching. I'm like, oh, you can watch the next 2 hours. You got
Whatever
it.
you want.
It's
That's
yours.
all you.
That's all you. We can watch Zabuma Fu 4 times in a row. You know what I'm saying?
That's so Raven.
Yeah.
Man, I was never one to like say things to hurt people. It was more of my actions and looks. But there was one time, Elise, I was watching her because my parents were at work, and she had this little fake stethoscope, right? She was just annoying me that whole day, and then somehow she like whipped the fake thing around, and it hit me like right here on the arm. That was like I would have preferred stubbing a toe. Like that's how much it hurt, and it left a welt mark. And I was just like, I looked at her, and I just screamed like a war criminal. I was like, ah! Ah! And I just started hitting things around her, and she got so scared. And I was like, man, I can't do that ever again. Like just seeing the fear on her face, because I was just over here just like.
She's like, what I knew, I really hurt him.
And then like I remember for 2 days, like 2 days straight, she was like talking to me this like softest tone ever. Like I've never heard her talk to me like this. I was like, I can never do that again. Like just putting that fear in her, I was just like, okay, I'm not doing this again ever again, because I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure it out, just walk away, like think. But it's like just putting someone in a position to like look at you in a different way is, I don't see how people can just stay there. So it's like when she's like, when she kept going on and on about like all this stuff, I'm like, okay, first one, okay, you might have misspoke, but the fact that you kept going and you saw like this guy is clearly not having it, like like I know I'm going too far, and it's like you keep digging the ditch. It's like, bro, yeah, you are just a really bad person. Like you're not good.
Yeah, I think the big issue is when it's like a situation like you're saying, you don't get upset anymore, you just walk away. But when the person chases, like keeps following you, that makes it even worse. I think that's the worst type of person, is when they're upset and then they follow you, and they keep following you, and then they keep following you. They don't ever let you have your own space to feel better. But yeah.
But I know this has had to have stacked up. Like they've been living together again for 6 months. So there's probably been little incidents over those 6 months where someone gets mad or annoyed, and that just builds up and builds up over time until it'll blow up into something big.
And he probably knew, like he may have mentioned stuff about like, I miss my mom or something here or there, or he would think about her, maybe look at her picture or something, and knew that that was the trigger to like, oh, I'm gonna say this, and you know, because I have mine and you don't, so.
Thanks so much for coming.
Well, I think to wrap it up,
how do I usually wrap it up?
We usually have our guests dance, do like a special dance on the way out, just take us out. So Mama G. That's
not true.
Take it away.
You don't have to do anything, Mom.
Mama G, that's your cue.
Well, that about wraps it up for us here. Comfort Level Podcast.
Wait. We forgot the most important part. Oh, wait, no, we didn't.
It's Comfort Level 10. It's Comfort Level 10 today, for sure.
We're in our pajamas!
We're in our PJs. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I think for the rest of as we go out in this video, if you're going to talk, you have to talk like this. So thank you guys so much for coming to the Comfort Level Podcast. Thank you so much to our guest, Mama G.
Mama G.
We got to have you back. You're so funny. You're hilarious.
Mama G.
And we'll see you guys next time.
We will bid you adieu.
Bye.